So, hello and welcome back to Eventful Encounters, the podcast where we sit down with the brilliant minds shaping the events industry from the inside out. I'm your host, Tanita, and today we're talking about something that doesn't get nearly the attention that it needs, and something that we're very passionate about here at the Eastside Rooms, neurodiversity. What that means for new event design, delivered experience events. Events are really high energy, they're fast-paced environments, bright lights, busy networking space, and packed agendas. For some people, that's quite exciting, but for others, that can be really overwhelming. So the question is, how do we create events that truly work for everyone? And to explore that, I'm joined by Laura Rosinska, founder and MD of Event Exec, and who is a passionate advocate for making events industry more inclusive for neurodivergent professionals and delegates. So welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Great to have you. So let's start with an easy one. For anyone that hasn't come across you, who are you, where did your journey begin, and how did you get into the events industry?
So I founded Event Exec 11 years ago now, and I've been in the industry for over 25 years. And I started out just in hospitality, working in restaurants, that kind of thing. And I found a role in a very small agency near where I live in West Sussex. That's going back a long, long way. And I guess the kind of shift in my career massively into the industry would be my position at Goodwood Estate, where they host a festival of speed, revival, and all the horse racing there. It's an amazing place, and it's in West Sussex near me. And I was there for about 8 years, looking after event hospitality from an operational and sales perspective. And did fairly well, and we can touch on that a little bit, but the neurodiverse side of me really enjoyed all the sales side and the hustle and bustle, the whole thing. It was just, I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. So really, really thrived. And I stayed there for 8 years and left as head of event hospitality, which was,
amazing.
I grew very, very quickly. I started off doing just the admin side and was like,
So
right,
you grew in
it.
that role, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a brilliant time. And actually, we're still very close to Goodwood as a preferred supplier for the hospitality side. I had a year as a commercial director at a small race course after that, which was a very interesting...
Was that you?
Not really, no. But I learned a hell of a lot of lessons with that, and it gave me a lot
sometimes you need to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the bad stuff is actually have silver linings. So it did really teach me the direction I did want to go in, and that was setting up my own business, Event Exec.
So tell us more about Event Exec. What do you do? What's the culture like there?
Yeah, so we specialise in VIP tickets and hospitality incentives, usually around sport and music, and that's on a global scale.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really, really is. And I was started ever so small. It was just me, and I only started employing people about 3 years ago.
Wow, so you did it on your own for so...
I did, and it just got ridiculously busy. I just couldn't. So it was a lifestyle business up until then, and I kind of thought, go large or go home. And I was like, there's so much opportunity out there. So I went, well, large. I mean, when I say large, we're still a small team of 4. But small and mighty.
So what's one of the biggest events you've worked on?
Oh my goodness.
Or what are the standouts?
The standouts, they're all standouts. So we do all of the major artist tours, i.e. getting VIP seats and private boxes in all the major stadiums. Yeah, all around the world. We do all the Grand Prix, Wimbledon, you name it, we can do it. And, we've built such an amazing network now, and a really safe network. So things they're sold out, they're not. You just come to us and we say, yeah.
Find a way.
I know. It's
a
great place to be.
So what is it about the events industry that excites you? Because you're still really passionate about it. I mean, you've been in it for such a long time, but you still sound so passionate about it. So what is it that really gets you going?
Yeah, it's an easy answer for me. I just feel so privileged because I get to give people the most incredible experiences of their lives. And it's things like also, yes, we work from a corporate point of view, but when you've got families wanting to go Taylor Swift, taking the kids and things, and they just send me the pictures of these little children, absolutely just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm here. Once in a lifetime experiences for people. I mean, it's just an amazing privilege to be able to be in that position.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely. So moving on a little bit, you touched on it earlier, but neurodiversity. So I'd love to explore that. Where does your personal passion come from for you?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD at the age of 46. I'm just about to turn 50, so not that long ago. And I really, really struggled. And I came from a difficult background anyway, but school was just horrendous.
Can imagine.
And I think girls process it all very differently. And in fact, back then, nobody even knew what
Especially,
it was.
yeah, without diagnosis.
It was just literally, you're just not interested.
You're a disruptive child.
Yeah, but it wasn't even disruptive. And I think a lot of girls are like that. It's very internal. So, with boys, they can be a lot more kind of active. They're jumping around and, that's kind of a very typical boy way to present. But girls can be very internal. So it's actually what's going on in the mind. And you could just be sitting nice and still, know there's anything wrong. But what's going on upstairs is a completely different story.
Sure.
So, you just get branded, useless, waste of space, airhead, won't do it. I know she can, but she won't, was a common theme throughout school. And I actually left school with 0 qualifications, didn't get any GCSEs whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I'm so glad that there is awareness now, because that's really starting to change.
Yeah.
I created a business called Backstage a year or so ago, particularly to help people in neurodiversity in this industry.
Yeah.
And with that, I spent a lot of hours interviewing people because I really wanted to understand their experiences. And the people that are in their kind of like 30s-ish now, it's just really lovely to see that actually schools are doing a hell of a lot more support, and there is an understanding, and people are coming out with really good grades, and it's about understanding the way that the neurodiverse person, like
how they can still achieve.
Yeah, and it's also, everyone's so different. It presents completely differently with
every single person.
I know. So I'm really glad that there's that awareness. But in the terms of the events industry, oh my goodness, I think Andy
Williamson
from Welcome Brain, he did some statistics which say that about 20% of the events industry is neurodiverse. And I don't think that, it's a perfect industry for a neurodiverse mind to work in. So that doesn't surprise me. But like you touched on, it's about creating the safe spaces and the big exhibitions so that you feel welcomed and safe.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned there Backstage. Was there something that you witnessed in the industry that made you think, I need to set this up, that made you think that something in the industry needs to change?
Yeah, basically would be my own experiences, and why I touched on the kind of the school and the journey is that I don't want anyone to have to feel the way that I did.
Yeah.
It's a really, really kind of can be a very dark place, especially if you don't know what it is you've got. You just think there's something wrong with you.
You're not.
Yeah. And, going to events, especially exhibitions, they can be so overwhelming.
I can imagine.
And the symptoms it's physical, there's been times when I've gone non-verbal, where literally your throat closes up. You can actually feel it's such a physical thing that comes up. And I just don't want anyone to have to go through that, really.
And what is it you do with Backstage to help people?
Yeah,
go through that?
Lots of talking, I'm here if you want to have a chat.
It's more of a support.
Yeah, exactly. With Welcome Brain, I've just got my qualification for a first responder, which is brilliant. So I'll be doing a lot more of that. And just being on hand, really, and consulting with the venues to look at where they can improve, the environment that they have to make people feel more safe and inclusive. Also, I want to start talking to all the stadiums that we know so well about how they can look after their staff, how they look after the people there and their audiences. If there is kind of some, neurological, I'll call it a breakdown. There's probably a better term for it, but that's kind of what it can look like. So.
And how they can
just
respond to that.
Exactly. So also looking at leaders and how they manage their teams. I've had a lot of conversations with, people that own their agencies saying, I know I've got neurodiverse people in my team, but I don't even know how to approach it. How do I go about this? Because it can be, quite sensitive. Not everyone's open to waving their hands and going, yes, I've got neurodiversity.
Exactly that. Yeah. People don't know how to approach it, and they'd rather sometimes not approach it than approach it in the wrong way.
Exactly.
So the events industry is really fast-paced, high pressure, and quite often very unstructured. Do you think that that environment works for or against neurodivergent professionals? Did touch on that a little bit earlier. So.
Yeah, it depends on the person.
Again, because everybody's different. Yeah,
absolutely. There are people that absolutely need to have their processes.
And I suppose it depends on their neurodivergence as well.
100%. Yeah, absolutely right. And there are people that just like working in a process way is just forget it. I mean, that's me. I get everything done. I get everything completed. I get everything done brilliantly at the very last minute. But do you know what? That is okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You always think it's not okay to work like that because you would have had comments all your life saying, oh, God, everything you do is last minute. But, it's negative. But actually, it's fine. So it's about understanding and having that conversation with people. Tell me what you need. How do you work best?
Yeah.
There could be a mismatch as well. It could be some things processed and other things not so.
And how do you work within because you've got a team now, how do you work within your team with people being so different, I suppose?
Yeah, well, they need to manage and cope with me, really. Yeah, exactly. But they're all very tolerant. But it is that conversation. It's like my mind does work a bit differently. Sometimes I can be quite hectic. Sometimes I can be super calm. I do have loads of great ideas that come up, and it's like we had this Jackson corridor, didn't we? There's so much stuff I want to do, but it's about reining it in and just staying in your lane a bit. So, but yeah, no, they're really, really good. And it's just it's a really open conversation in our office. Yeah.
So where do you see the events industry is falling short right now when it comes to supporting neurodivergent talent, whether that's from recruitment or right through to when they're delivering their roles?
Yeah, it's definitely on the forefront of people's minds now.
Yeah.
There's so much work going on.
Kind of over the last 12 months, it's definitely been brought.
Yeah, it absolutely has. So, Helen Moon, I work with, she's well known in the industry for providing really good safe spaces at exhibitions and other venues. And it's just being talked about a lot now. There are, I think, some gaps where it's not really spoken about. And the conversations I've had with some people, they're still in that period of shame and not wanting to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I totally get that because you can feel like, oh, it's this again, ADHD and autism, it's thrown around a lot, those terms.
I think for a while it did become a bit of a buzzword, and I think now we've kind of come back again where people are actually taking it seriously.
I hope so, but I think, somebody mentioned to me recently, people just use it as an excuse, and I just thought, oh my goodness me, if that narrative's still out, I'm like, if you have any idea what people go through that have it, you wouldn't use that narrative, because it can be absolutely brilliant if you can self-regulate and kind of really look at yourself and investigate entirely how you take what things make you feel good and safe and what don't, and you can self-regulate and just make it work for you.
It's understanding yourself, isn't it, and really getting to know yourself and how your body works.
Yeah, so I think there's maybe some ignorance. I guess it would come from people that don't experience it. It's kind of hard to get your head around what it is
without having
yourself. So,
and where do you think the events industry is really brilliant for neurodivergent people?
The industry as a whole, I mean, there's just so much opportunity within it. You have got the process side, you've got the event management side, but then you never know what's going to come up, especially when you're on live events. You've got to think really quickly on your feet. And I would say that people with neurodivergence literally can see things from a bird's eye view, and are brilliant at responding, brilliant at fixing problems. There's all of that. The events industry is a brilliant place to be if you are a neurodivergent person.
That's good for all the listeners out there to know.
Definitely. 100%, yeah.
And for neurodivergent professionals themselves, what advice have you got that can get them to navigate through the industry, and perhaps if they don't feel seen or heard, how they can get seen or heard?
Yeah, are you talking about staff or...
Yeah, professionals at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say... just be brave. There's nothing wrong with you whatsoever. And it's about reaching out and just having that conversation with line managers or bosses to say, like, hey, this is me. I'm so committed. I can really excel in this area, but I
just need
want
to
you
be supported differently.
Yeah, can you support me with this? Can you, for example, if you're on live event, you wouldn't want to put somebody that's very, very active potentially with kind of ADHD, and put them on a stand or something, standing there all day for 6 hours, or something like a repetitive task, you know. That's just mind-numbing, and it actually does create anxiety and physical symptoms. It really can do.
Yeah.
So it's about moving that person around and making sure they're in an environment that they slide in.
Yeah.
Whereas there'll be other people that would be absolutely delighted to do that all day. So just really understanding the person and how to get the best of them.
And I think that works across the board, whether you're neurodivergent or neurotypical.
100%.
Everybody has got areas that they excel in and they feel more comfortable in.
Definitely, yeah.
Where do you see things heading over the next 5 years in the industry?
That's a huge question. I'm not steering against Oracle here. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I can't really talk, too much about AI stuff, but things are going very much that way. Automated technology. Who knows? Who knows where it's going to go?
Yeah, I think the AI world is moving so fast.
It really, really is. There's just opportunity everywhere. So.
And taking it back a step, a little bit lighter. What projects or initiatives are you working on through Event Exec and Backstage, or anywhere else in your personal life that you're particularly excited about?
There are quite a few things that I'm really excited about. I'm being really focused on the wellness side of things recently, and I am partnered with an incredible business called lifeand, which looks at retreats and wellness events, but it's actually powered by science. So we have just created an amazing program, just launched at the Shangri-La at the Shard, where we had 50 C-suite CEOs come and experience that day. We had a neuroscientist there that actually put brain caps on people for the duration of the day. So they arrived at 8:30, stayed till 6. We had spinal energetics technicians. We had sound bars up there on the 33rd floor. It was incredible. But the great thing about that is that we monitored people throughout the day, and the brain activity from when they came in.
It's fascinating to see.
Absolutely mind-blowing. And this is the thing, like, it is very science-led. You know, there's lots of, you hear it's very woo-woo, isn't it? Doing sound bars and like meditation, breathing. But it's scientific that it can actually change your brain frequency, it changes your neurological pathways, and it actually really
fascinating.
Yeah, you get to ground, and this is where leaders and stuff need to be in a space to work from. Is groundedness, clarity, and calmness. It's peace. That's what we are after, is just being peaceful. So we are taking that program, and we're going to duplicate that, and we'll be doing that in other countries as well. So it's a huge, huge, huge project. I'm so excited to be part.
Amazing. When does that officially launch?
It has.
Officially launched. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to do a quick fire round. Okay. The events industry in 3 words.
I love it.
Fair enough. A book, podcast, or resource that you'd recommend for anyone wanting to learn more about neurodiversity?
Difficult for me to say. I would say, definitely get into contact with Andy Williamson. Absolutely great person and offers amazing courses.
Mm-hmm, he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
One event that genuinely moved you, either to attend or to deliver?
I love music. And this is a personal one for me, but then again, I get to kind of see how my clients feel when they attend stuff. So it's taking my daughters to concerts and things like that, and doing things as a family. And on our 10th anniversary, we had a box and watched Status actually, and it was absolutely amazing. So I just invited kind of like 12 of my event industry best friends, because that's another thing about this industry, that everyone becomes so
friendly. Yeah,
I know, my entire circle now really is within the industry. It's amazing.
Tea or coffee on a hectic day?
Coffee, but only till 1 o'clock.
Bit like me, but
yeah, then it's like no sleep.
What's one misconception about neurodivergent people that you wish would disappear forever?
That they are really, really hectic and all over the place and just can't sit still.
What's one thing that event professionals should do differently starting Monday?
Be kind.
I like that. I do like that. And finally, complete this sentence. The events industry will be truly inclusive when?
People listen more. and empathise with others, put themselves in other people's shoes, and just,
I think that's the word there, empathy. Just got to really empathise with people.
Exactly.
And try and understand from their point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no need for conflicts. There's no need for any of that stuff. It's just be really open to listening, receiving, helping. If you come from that standpoint, then it just dispels any negative energies.
So, Laura, as we come towards the end, what do you want listeners to feel or do after hearing this conversation today?
I want people to, just be brave, put their hands up, ask for the things that they need in their work environments. And as I said, just be kind.
Laura, it's been a real pleasure to have you here today to talk about a topic that is so important. We really want to get the awareness out there. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And as always, to stay up to date with all things Eventful Encounters, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.